Good afternoon. Hello, everyone here in the audience today, and also to the two students that are connecting with us via streaming, Alexander and Jacobo. We'll meet you soon on campus. My name is Joanna Szymanska. I'm the Executive Director of the Master Management in Strategy, and I'm your MC for this opening ceremony today. And as such, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to IE. Welcome, students of the Master Management Strategy September 2025 intake. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Thank you for choosing IE, and congratulations for having made it until here, to IE, to Madrid, to the Tower today, and to kickstart your journey together with your fellow peers. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. Now a truly exciting journey lies ahead of you, certainly full of challenges that will test you and demand the best of you, but also full of many enjoyable moments together with the people around you, with your new people that you will soon call your friends, for sure, that will make this a unique experience that you will never forget. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite Dean of IE Business School, Lee Newman, to the stage for his opening address. So, Lee, the floor is yours.
I don't think I need the step, but you tell me. Well, good morning, MIM Strat students. I never know exactly what to call you because sometimes we say MIMS, but then you're MIMS, but you're not MIMS like the other MIMS, you're the MIM Strat MIMS, and you're a very special cohort. So I'm going to call you MIM Strat, and we'll see where we end up with at the end of the year. You decide what you want to be called. But that said, welcome. You are a very special cohort of students. Here for a very special journey, and we're really excited for you to start it. I hope you're excited. Can I have a little love, just a little energy? Are you excited to start this MIM strategy? Yes. Yeah, there we go. All right. That's not bad. So, this is a special program, partly because obviously it focuses on strategy, but maybe it's worth defining a little bit about what that means, because you're going to get the foundations of business, right? You're going to get the foundations of business acumen across all the different functions of business, et cetera. But in this program, we're going to go deep into strategy, right? And strategy is more than just what you think, business strategy. Strategy is tech strategy. Strategy is financial strategy. You can't do strategy without hardcore finance and numbers, right? To put behind a strategy, to develop it, right? And there's also people strategy. I mean, a company doesn't run by itself, right? You can have fantastic tech strategy, a transformation strategy, a business strategy, but you got to have fantastic people in a company to pull that off, right? And your vice team spent a lot of time in organizational consulting, helping companies figure out how to attract talent and develop that talent and align that talent with their job. So you got a lot ahead of you, not just the foundations of business, but some pretty deep dives into kind of the deeper guts of business, strategy, tech, and finance, right? So we hope that you're ready for that and ready for this mission. Also, this program is special because we have a very unique methodology in this program, and I hope you're aware of that, but it's very project-based, right? So we want you to think of this not just as a year of taking classes. I mean, you're in school, you're in a business school, you of course are going to take classes, but we think about them differently in this program. I mean, I always like to say you're in MIM Incorporated or MIM LTD or whatever you want to call it wherever you're from, MIM SG or SA or whatever it is, but we want you to think of this as 15 months, in the trenches doing business. I mean, you all have taken time out. All of you have work experience, right, which is another thing that distinguishes this program. So you've taken time out now from work, the first couple of years of your career, to do business in school. And we want it to be real. The projects you're going to get are real projects. You're going to have real data. You're going to have really difficult challenges to deal with short deadlines. So that, you're going to have a lot of great challenges to work on. Doing things, and that's really important. So even though you're in school and taking in a lot of knowledge, we want you to have skill and learn how to do things. So think about it as a 15-month boot camp, applying all the new knowledge and skills you're going to get to making sure that you know how to do it, okay? And that's really, really important part of the program. Now, what's that going to look like? So you're going to do a lot of things in teams, right? This is a very team-oriented business school in general, across all our programs, and this program especially with projects that you'll have. You're going to do a lot in teams. Now, I believe later you're going to see your class profile somewhere, right? Yes. So you're going to see that you are a very diverse group of people among you. And what happens when you take a diverse group of people like yourselves, coming from different countries and cultures, different ways of thinking? What happens when we put you together in teams that you don't get to choose? We choose them for you, okay? And we have a secret formula we can't reveal. But the objective is we put you in teams, in these diverse teams. We give you tough assignments. We give you short deadlines. This is school, so you don't get any budget on these projects. If you want to go out and sell baked goods on Castellana, feel free to raise money for your project, but we don't give you a budget for your project. So what's going to happen in these teams when you come together as diverse people with under pressure to deliver? What do you think is going to happen? Take a guess. That's a real question, not a rhetorical question. What's going to happen? What? Conflict. Okay, there's going to be some conflict, some turbulence, I like to say, right? And why? Where's that conflict going to come from, you think? Take some guesses. Differences of opinions. Okay. What else? Someone over here said something. So you're going to have different perspectives coming in, differences of opinions. You may have different opinions about the way a company should do what this company should do in this particular business situation. You may have differences of opinion in how to do the project as a team, right? I mean, some of you may say we should do it this way before we get started, and some of you may say we need to do it that way, and you may have a little fight. So there's going to be turbulence for sure, because you will be under a lot of pressure, right? I mean, it's business school. This is what you're here to learn, right? And learning comes from that kind of pressure. So you're going to have all this kind of conflict and turbulence, and I think what's most important is that you make something of it. Okay, and what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that, when you talk to recruiters, when you talk to senior people in companies, we talk to them all the time. Our talent and careers department talks to them. We talk to them as deans and vice deans, and we ask them, what are the keys to success these days for young business professionals? And if you're talking to a bank, of course they say, financial skills. If you're talking to a strategic consulting firm, they say you need strategy skills, right? I mean, but they don't really talk much about that because that's a given, right? I mean, you take a bunch of people and you put them in an asset management group in a bank, they need to know asset management. If they don't, they're not going to be there very long. But when you ask them, like, what makes those asset managers? What makes those strategic consultants? What makes those digital transformers or AI automators the more successful than their peers? And what makes them ultimately be leaders in their roles? The answer we get is very clear. And it's not marketing, finance, and all the hard business skills. Those are a given. What they say is what makes people the most successful and puts them on a course for leadership is very simple. It's the ability to make things happen in workplaces, in difficult workplace and in business situations that all of us face in our jobs, and most importantly, with difficult people, okay? I mean, that's really what it's about, right? Because business is tough. Working with people is tough, right? I mean, finance is hard, quantitatively and conceptually and theoretically. But I mean, getting a group of people who don't want to do A if you're managing a team, that's hard. That's really hard, and there's no formula book for that. So you have 15 months to figure out how to do that. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because that's the kind of stuff we can give you some seeds. We can create the perfect storm. These teams with turbulence and conflict, as the gentleman over here said before, we can create that storm for you, but what you make of it is up to you. Okay? And so just to close on that thought, with something a little more concrete. So when these moments happen, when you're fighting, when you don't agree, when someone says something to you and what might be in their culture an okay way to say you're wrong and I think your idea is stupid, but in your culture, the way they said it didn't come off so good, do you get offended? Or do you say, look, I'm in a global program with people from all over the place, different backgrounds, different ideas. I need to listen to this, evaluate it for what it is. Don't worry about the package. Focus on the content. So when someone tells you you're micromanaging in the team, or someone tells you you're not really listening to us, you just want to do it your way, you're being closed-minded and stubborn, you have two choices in that moment. Well, three really. One choice is to say, it's not me, it's you. be defensive, think it's their problem, and you guys are smiling, some of you, but we do this. We have egos. Human beings have egos, right? And so one thing is you can just say, it's not my problem, it's yours. Fine. Bad idea for you and your own growth. We'll talk about this in 1 second. Or you can dig into it, right? And you can lean into that and say, well, maybe there's something to it. And ask them some questions. Well, what did I do? How did I make you feel that way? Blah, 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 and learn something from it. So that's my main message to you today is take the conflicts, take the friction, take the turbulence, the differences of perspective and opinions, and do something with it. Lean into that and say, how can I emerge from this battle with this person I really don't like in my team and become a better person for it? And if you're really a leader, how can I help them emerge from this battle with me and this conflict with me, and so that they can grow as well? There, you're really onto something as a manager and a leader. If you can figure out how to get along, even if you don't necessarily like one of you doesn't like the other, fine. Make something of it. Grow from it, okay? That's my main message. And that's not going to happen in the classroom. It's going to happen when you're working on assignments from class. Okay, and if we can help you sort stuff out, and you say, look, how do we have this thing going on in our team, give us some ideas for how we can fix it, because we want to, we will help you. Try yourself first, but we'll help you do that, okay? And that's a big part of the learning. And that relates to the next best you. And just to close, I want to just say a few things. I mean, this is what we do at IE Business School, okay? This is not like a tagline, like just do it for Nike. It could be, but it's not. It's actually our purpose, and it's our mission. It's our strategy as a business school. And the idea is very simple. You're here today, MIM-Strat students, with your current you. You've told us many, many wonderful things about yourselves and your applications. You're a fantastic group of people. You convinced us, we admitted you, and you're here, and we have high expectations for you. That's your current you. But your current you has some things it needs to work on, and that's the idea of the next best you. Okay? And so I don't know, you don't know, none of us know what the you 15 months from now is going to be, but we want it to be, it's going to be next, but we want it to be best. Okay, and so you have to think about, for each of you, how could I be better? Maybe I'm a bad listener. Maybe I can be kind of stubborn or closed-minded. Maybe I'm whatever, fill in the blank. Figure that out fast, because now, in this program, 15 months is the time you have to work on it. And you don't get a lot of that kind of time in your life. You're going to go out of here, you're going to work for banks and consulting firms and tech companies or search funds or whatever you end up doing. And, you're going to be busy, 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 right? And the idea of like, oh, I'm going to experiment with new behaviors and try things out and grow as a professional is going to get much harder to do. Here, it's easy, actually. And the only thing you have to do it is give each other feedback as often as possible, listen to the feedback, drop your ego, be humble, and grow. And that's the idea of the next best you. So we really hope that each of you takes that seriously, this mission of the next best you. It's there, sitting right in front of you, waiting to happen. IE is the vehicle that will help you, get you there, but it's your journey. And each of your journey will be different, but help each other in those journeys, and you will all get there, and we will support you in that. So with that, I just want to say I hope you have a fantastic 15 months. I spend about at least half of each week on the Maria Molina campus, where you will be. So if you see me, please introduce yourself, say hi. We'd love to get to know each of you personally and get to know your names and say hi, and connect with us online. We want to help you build your brands, not in TikTok. I don't care what you eat for breakfast. I definitely don't want to see your pictures coming out of a club, at sunrise saying, oh, wow, here's me. I want to see you in LinkedIn. I want to see you in LinkedIn, building your brands, talking about what you're doing in your program, the cool projects, failures, things you learned from difficult feedback I got in the team. We want to see that in LinkedIn. So connect to all of us, your faculty, staff, all of us, and we'll help you move your posts and those kinds of things and build your brand, because that's where recruiters look. Right? They spend a lot of time looking at LinkedIn, and increasingly with AI. So with that, I look forward to seeing you around campus, your current yous, and this evolving next best you. And if I can help be part of your next best you, happy to do that. Congratulations for being here. Thanks for choosing us, because you do have a choice in business schools. Thanks for choosing ours, and have a fantastic 15 months. Thank you very much. Do you want the block?
Sure. Thank you, Lee. I would like to pass on the mic now to David Suarez. David Suarez is the Vice Dean of the Master Management portfolio, the Master Management, and the Master Management and Strategy, as well as the International MBA here at IE Business School. He's going to share with you some insights into your master program and give you some important information to keep in mind for the next month coming ahead. Thank you, and David, the floor is yours.
Okay, so first thing I want to say is welcome everyone and congratulations on your admission to IE. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. Now, has anyone ever heard the expression paradigm shift? No one? Wow. Anybody read the book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Thank you. No students. Wow. That's a book it is dated, but the messages are timeless, absolutely. So in that book, Steve talks about paradigm shift, which is fundamentally a radically different way of looking at something that you think you already know. And what I want you to do is to, for a moment, look at the experience of a master's, in this case, master's in management and strategy, from an entirely different viewpoint. This is not about earning a university degree, or maybe it's not just about earning a university degree. It's not just about learning new content. And it's certainly not about grades, right? A lot of people, particularly the meme strats, get obsessed with grades because you're all very high performing. Don't get obsessed with grades. Grades are a necessary evil, unfortunately. This has to be first and foremost a time of personal transformation and growth. And this is what the Next Best You is about, and I'll talk about the Next Best You a bit more in just a second. Now, we're probably living now through what Martin Rees, author, astrophysicist, calls the most disruptive time in the history of the human species, Homo sapiens, right? In the last 50, 70, 100,000 years. And it's not just AI, it's a whole bunch of different disciplines that is redefining the rules of the game. Advances in science, in technology, certainly artificial intelligence, in geopolitics. The world has never been as polarized as it is today. And it's very likely that we're going to see artificial general intelligence happen over the next 5 to 10 years. Now, you're going to be in the middle of that. For us, some of us are a little bit of older farts, perhaps. But you're going to be in the middle of that, and you have a chance to shape that, right, in ways that are unique, I would say. Now, I think in order to rise above all that noise and disruption, there's one key to me, which is harness the power of technology. There's another key to me, which is resilience. And a third one, it's adaptability. It's amazing, the Darwinian world that we live in never gets old. I don't care how, trends and everything changes, but in the end, it's all about adaptability, okay? Now, I want to elaborate a bit on the Next Best You approach, right? Lee kind of introduced the concept, career, impact, purpose, and I want to spend a bit of time on each of them. Let me take purpose, because I like to be sort of driven by, goals, right? If you think about purpose, our philosophy at IE is we want to develop you, men and women, into purposeful business professionals. Now, what does that mean? It basically means, it doesn't mean, let me just put it this way, that you need to lock yourself in a monastery somehow and not make any money, right? I mean, you can still be a person of purpose, a purposeful business professional, and still make money of it. And from that perspective, I love this Ikigai philosophy of life. Who has heard the word Ikigai? More people, that's great. So Ikigai is this Japanese philosophy that basically says, it talks about 4 spheres. It talks about there's one sphere, which is what you love, your passion, right? There's another sphere, which is what you are good at. There's a third sphere, which is what the world needs, and there's a fourth sphere that is basically what you can get paid for. Now, what happens when some of these spheres come together? Well, if you take what you're passionate about and what the world needs, maybe you get your vocation, right? If you take what you're good at and what you get paid for, maybe you get your profession. But what happens when all those 4 spheres merge? Magic happens. You get your Ikigai. My first challenge for you today is to use the next 15 months as a way to find your Ikigai. It's hidden in there somewhere, and it's waiting for you to discover it. This is your opportunity to make it. This is no exaggeration, I think can be the most disruptive 15 months for good of your life, the most transformative period of your life, and the opportunity is for you to take it. So that's as far as Ikigai and purpose is concerned. Now, the other pillar in the Next Best You, talk about career. I'm not going in order. Career. The point that I want to make about career, well, it's multifold. On the first, on the one hand, careers is a very volatile thing today. Why? Because the future of work is changing by the minute. You know, we have Zane here. Later, you're going to delight us with some thoughts. Careers is going nuts, our talent and careers team, because these jobs are changing all the time, right? And we're in the middle of that disruption. The AI disruption affects every single sector, including education, by the way, right? But it's an opportunity for you guys to make, the most of it. From a career perspective, you've got a ton of resources. First of all, I won't steal any thunder, Zane, I promise, but there's a whole team of professionals. You guys have, by the way, the highest talent and careers professional to student ratio of the whole school, because this is a very small program. So you need to take advantage of that. It's unique to the program. Okay, you also have hundreds, I think it's close to 200 different clubs, right, that you can do all kinds of things with. Every single student that graduates from IE, whether it's MIM or otherwise, will always say, this is the way to enhance your experience. There's a lot more that you can do to learn than just books, than just professors, which of course is there, than just the content that you get on your courses. You learn a lot. You're going to learn a hell of a lot from each other through those antagonists that Lee was talking about, and your friends, and that diversity that you find in the books, than probably any other source. So take advantage of that, take advantage of the career, the talent and careers folks, and find where you actually want to be involved with. Most of you want to specialize in one of three fields, whether it's finance or strategy or technology, but within that, there's a wealth of different jobs, right? So this is a chance for you guys to explore that. You have a mandatory internship. I would strongly suggest that you get started with that soon enough, okay, from experience. And it's a great chance for you guys to look into what you need to do and explore perhaps different possibilities that you haven't explored before. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about careers. Now, the last pillar is about, we call it impact, right? And to me, impact is about what's the lasting effect of something that you do. Now, in order to do that, you need a toolbox, you need a set of tools. It's almost like we're helping you build a toolbox. A toolbox of what? Of what we call impact skills. We have cognitive skills. How do you think? Creative thinking, cognitive abilities, critical thinking, algorithmic logic, right, which you're going to need in a no-code movement, right? And now everybody's playing up, let's build an agentic AI with no code. You don't need to know any Python. But as sure as hell, you're going to need to know some algorithmic logic, otherwise you're toast, right? Okay, so that's still there. And that's a whole set of skills that we're going to teach you. There's another sphere of skills, which is around behavior and leadership. And I think Lee summarized it best when he said, the moment that you get not just yourself, but get somebody who is an antagonist. By the way, those are the people that you're going to learn the most from, those people that you perhaps hate or that you don't like very much. Okay, so find who they are and try to move them to your account. We're going to help you deal with that through a whole set of behavioral skills by putting you into very hands-on, practical situations. And there will be more about that in the afternoon when we talk about MIMS Inc. as a corporation, as a company that it is, the company that you'll be joining starting today. Now, in addition to that, we also have digital skills. And digital skills, to me, it's a whole range of different things. One of the things that we have, for instance, is AI for productivity. We're going to teach you guys, if you don't use it already, how to make the most of that, okay? Because it can enhance, it can multiply tenfold, 20-fold your ability to get stuff done. And from that perspective, I wanted to delve into one of my favorite topics, which is around learning, right? And it's at the core of everything that you guys are doing. Now, there are multiple ways of learning, right? But I would say that you've never had, as students, as interesting a situation as we have now. ChatGPT or equivalent large language models are wreaking havoc everywhere. And there's a lot of people that are saying, well, the AIs will eventually steal our jobs. I would say that's not the case. I'd say that can be the case if you limit yourselves to use a generative AI as a copy-paste approach. I don't want to do this, so Chad, why don't you tell me how to do X, Y, or Z? And that's how you fail. It would be simple enough, for instance, I do a lot of reading. And it would be simple enough sometimes for me to say, hey, I wanted to remember what this book is about. And it would be simple enough to ask GPT to provide me with a summary. In fact, I've done that in the past. But the other day, I tried something different. I read this book by William Dalrymple called The Golden Road. And it's about how the effect that India has had in the last 2,000 years in humanity. It's just unbelievable. The book is dense, is a tough read, and I read a lot of books. I read about 50 books a year. And it's not easy to digest. And when I finished reading this thing, I was wondering, you know what? I don't really think that I've gotten a lot of it. Let me talk to Emily. Emily is my Jarvis, my AI. It's what I call her because she has a female voice. So I say, hey, Emily, I wanna do a dry run with you about this book that I've read. Are you familiar with this book? Yes, I'm familiar with it. What do you want to know? Well, I'm going to tell you what I know, because I just read it, and I think I'm completely lost. But So we started having a discussion that lasted about 10 minutes on the points that I had learned, and then she goes, yeah, but so you've hit on most of the major points, but you missed this, that, and the other. Okay, well, what about this? Can we do a deep dive on that? I'm telling you, that experience was surreal. First of all, because for the first time in my life, someone actually listened to what I had to say. I tried this with my family, but it doesn't work. At dinner time, it's awful. Every time I raise a book, everybody's saying, Dad, please don't bother with that stuff. So it's great to have Emily, happily listening to me. But the greatest thing was how much I learned from that. And then all of that was recorded into a transcript. This was not around 3 years ago. So I guess my message is, you've got the opportunity to multiply by 100 your ability to make an impact. And I will probably share this in some other thing, but we had in the auditorium Sam Altman back in May 2023. He was in the auditorium, and one of the things he said, the one thing that he said many things, but the one thing that stuck with me is he said, in the future, we're going to have billion-dollar companies that are run by a single individual. That's where you need to aim, okay? So that's what I want to say about learning. You need to hack your learning. Learning how to learn in a world of disruption is the key to succeeding in business and to become future-proof professionals. Okay, and then the other point that I wanted to make is about priorities, right? We're going to throw more stuff at you that you can handle. We're going to throw you to the deep end of the pool and hope that you can swim, okay? And there will be times when you're going to say, what the heck am I doing here? I'm floundering. I can't do anything, right? So you need to get your priorities right. And there are two things that I want to say about this. First is there's a reason why we do this, and it's called, I like to call it tough love. You guys know what I mean by tough love, right? We love you very much, but that doesn't mean that we're going to make it easy for you. And I have an anecdote about the effectiveness of tough love. It was about 20 years ago, and I was about 2 years, 18 months from making partner at a company which was called Booz Allen Hamilton, a strategy consultancy that now is called Strategy Ann. And the two most senior partners, the CEO of Europe and the most senior guy, two senior partners, called me to Brussels for a dinner. Said, David, we want to have dinner with you. And I was thinking, gee, this is great. They're probably going to get a pat on the back, because I was on a rising path, right? And I was selling, and I thought I was doing great. Well, was I in for a surprise? I went into this dinner, and they kept on saying, do you really want to be a partner in this firm? Do you realize what you're doing with our clients? Are you developing the team the way you should develop it? And man, I left that meeting downtrodden. I left it without any energy. It was a 3-hour dinner. Boom, boom, boom. I was like, at the end, it was like a boxing match. And I felt completely empty of energy. But then I thought, here are two guys that are the most senior guys in Europe, in the firm, that want to spend a combined 6 hours with me to make sure that I get my act together. So let me get my act together. Let's look at the positive. Let's not delve into self-pity, but let's look at things from a positive lens. Sure enough, I got my act together. 18 months later, I made partner. And a year after that, I had a chance to stand in front of the whole partnership, about 250, 300 partners worldwide, and I had a presentation, and that presentation went awesome. Not great, awesome. Okay, and I even had the CEO David, awesome, great. I was like, oh, shit, it was great. It was one of those moments, right, that you kind of glowed in. And shortly after that, one of the partners that was in that meeting, one of the partners that I had dinner with in Neil in Brussels, texted me and he said, I remember Brussels, you look great on the stage. So I guess the moral of the story is find those moments, find that tough love, go through that narrow path. It's difficult, but there's a better you on the other side of it. How do you deal with all of this and with all of these priorities? The key to me is not managing time, it's managing energy. And there's a great book with the worst title called The Powerful Engagement. It's a little bit like The Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie. It's a super movie from the 90s with the worst title on earth. This book is the same. It's a great book, awful title. And in this Powerful Engagement, the authors, Jim Lohr and Tony Schwartz, talk about 4 types of energy. They talk about that we need to manage. Physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy, and spiritual energy. And just as a professional athlete is not always performing 24/7, a corporate athlete cannot perform all the time at 24/7. You go through periods of performance and recovery. So the key is find those periods of recovery, because if you don't find them, you're going to be toast. And you're not going to last, 3 months in this program. Very good. Now, closing messages, and I wrote these down because I want to make sure that you remember them. Coffee may be your best friend from now on. The Madrid nightlife, likely to be your worst enemy. Deadlines are like ninjas. They come to you when you least expect it. They're lurking around, waiting to catch you by surprise when you least expect it. You show up to that class on Monday morning. Oh, shit, this was due today? Yeah, it was due today. Exactly, just like ninjas. You can't see them, and they will jump on you. The best lessons in life you're going to learn from those antagonists, those people that you perhaps don't quite get along with, because they're going to call you out for the things that you need to improve. So those will become your career-changing or your game-changing moments. Make this mastery management really a time to discover that next best you, to discover that ikigai that's going to make you and be your engine for the rest of your life. Manage your time, but also manage your energy, as I just said. And the last thing that I want to share with you is, no matter where you come from, Real Madrid is now your team. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Now I'd like to call another colleague of mine to the stage. His department and his team are going to be very important for this journey for you, and you'll surely get to know them very, very soon. Let me welcome to the stage Zain Imam, Head of Talent and Careers, to address some words to you. Thank you.
I wonder if I should use the block. The first thing it made me think, David, after your, that's too much, right? Maybe I don't need the block. All right. Thank you for the feedback. The first thing I was thinking is that I should have probably rehearsed the speech with Emily, because I think that the team has heard the speech too many times while I was rehearsing and practicing. So I might ask you for some advice to get in contact with Emily after this. So firstly, I want to say welcome MIMStrat class of 2025. Congratulations for getting into the seat that you're sitting in right now, and I want you to give yourself a huge round of applause. And it's really important for you to be able to absorb properly just how important it is that you've made that choice to learn, that choice to grow. My name is Zain Imam. I'm the Head of Talent and Careers here at IE University. And actually, we have a member of the team here as well. Gisela is here. Say hi, maybe. And she's going to be your career advisor. Maybe I need to speak more. Look, it's very exciting for me to be here at your opening ceremony. Is it me that's causing that weird sound in the background? Ah, it's a door. Thank you. Yeah, the world, like everybody is talking about, is changing at this incredibly fast pace. And as has been alluded to before in some of the other speakers, industries are transforming so quickly. Roles are being redefined right in front of our very eyes. And I guess the question that I'm going to pose to you is very similar to the question that the rest of the speakers are posing to you, is whether you're going to be someone who leads that change and shapes what that new world is going to look like, or whether you're going to be swept away by that current, because it's going to be a very strong current. And if you want to be someone who leads, you need to know who you are and how you are going to specifically contribute to this new world. And I actually have some great news for you, because as chaotic as this new world is going to get, there really is one constant, which is that there is no one else out there who is better at being you. Now, it's that spark, that energy that actually brought you into the seat that you're sitting on today. That spark is what we're going to take, and we're going to supercharge that. We're going to supercharge that with everything that you're going to learn in this program. We're going to supercharge it with all the projects that are going to grow and stretch you. And as we say, as Lee has recently alluded to, as David alluded to, one of the things we say in the business school is that after that, absolutely no one out there could be better at being the next best you. Now, what I want to make sure to share here with you today is a really important fact specifically for the beginning of this journey that I want you to take into consideration throughout. It's that year in and year out, we see this particular group of students who consistently report a very high return on investment from their experience here at IE. And very simply put, those students have one particular characteristic. It's that those who give the most in this community, they're the ones who get the most. So let me define what that means for you. What that means is it's the students who are availing themselves to do mock interviews with their colleagues. It's the students who join one of the many, many clubs available to you and then create new conferences that are beneficial to the entire community at large. It's those students who reach into their own personal and professional networks to create brand new opportunities for their friends, for their colleagues, for their team members, and even for their local communities. Those individuals consistently are the ones who tell us they've really gotten the most out of this experience. And you might ask yourself why. Why is it that this particular group of people consistently say, this was such a great experience, I've gotten so much from it? It's because it's through this type of service that you learn who you are, and very importantly, it's through this type of service that you learn how you in particular are going to create value in the lives of others. And in so doing, you start to then attract the opportunities for the future that you're going to help build. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce your keynote speaker for today, who really embodies the spirit. David Jorge Post. David started his career in management consulting, actually like pretty much every single speaker that was on the stage today. He consulted at the renowned McKinsey & Company. He has used his platform over the last 20 years to lead large renewable energy projects across North America, Europe, APAC, and Africa. And these large-scale projects, combined with M&A, combined with joint ventures, combined with sitting on multiple boards, have made him a recognized leader in renewable energy and energy storage. Today, he acts as the head of Global Integrated Business Development at Enel, which, when I was practicing the speech with Gisela just yesterday, we realized you and Gisela's husband actually know each other. Small world. And he also is the president of the European Association for Energy Storage, where he has shaped the dialogue at the highest levels on the topic of the European energy transition. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce your keynote speaker for today, David Jorge Post.
wow. I promised myself I was not going to talk about soccer, but David, you made it very hard for me. There are more alternatives than Real Madrid, even though my two boys are diehard Real Madrid and Ronaldo fans. I'm Barcelona fan. That's never going to change. Igniting the next best you, IKJ or IKG. Emily, I got to say, when I was sitting and listening to all of this, I'm seriously thinking about quitting my job and applying for a master here because this sounds like a great opportunity. But let's say, jokes aside, let me go a little bit to my more formal speech. So, dear David, dear faculty, dear Zane, and most importantly, dear you, the new MIMS students, welcome. For me, it's a really big honor to stand here today at the start of what I know will be an unforgettable year, but also a key milestone in your undoubtedly successful careers. Welcome to Instituto Empresa, one of the finest academic institutions which ranks top among its peers. I've seen Instituto Empresa pretty much grow from when I was going to university, and it's unbelievable, the track record. You guys are you're probably in one of the best places on earth where you can do your master, so congratulations. And welcome to the Master of Management and Strategy, which I'm sure will have a transformative impact on each of your lives. It has already been told. So please take a look around you, to your right and to your left, and realize that you guys are part of a very privileged group of people. You, the MIMS class of 225, represents a diversified group of 43 people, young, talented people from 18 different countries. It's unbelievable, and from a wide variety of industries. You will be attending class with people with experience in business administration, economics, hospitality, technology, and so on, and even psychology, and taught by the finest faculty you can imagine, whose interesting classes will be, I have no doubt, lessons for life. So please take a moment to realize how lucky you are, and again, congratulations to get into this fantastic program. Allow me to say it in your words, and maybe you can show your hands. Bienvenidos a todos ustedes de Colombia, República Dominicana, España, El Salvador, y Costa Rica. Show some hands. Yay! And you can say yay. Bem-vindo to you from Portugal. Only one. Wow. Great. Calorossima to you from Greece. All right. Benvenuti a tutti voi d'Italia. Bravo, bravo. Herzlich willkommen to you from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. That's a lot. Genau. Swagat to you from India. Did I say that right? I hope so. Google Translate. Welcome to you from Australia and UK. Maligayang pagdating to you from the Philippines. All right, 3 people. Welcomes to you from Norway. And last but definitely not least, Uzvolom to you from Hungary. Well, I hope that, I'm not sure if I said this right, but I hope at least that within this introduction you feel a little bit more home now. This master program, David already said it, is not simply a degree to land a great job, nor a compound of interesting subjects or courses. This master is much more. This master is an opportunity to explore beyond your current field of interests and eventually set a new path in your careers. And more importantly, to create also a network of new friends and maybe even partners. And even more importantly, to explore Madrid. David said about the deadlines and so on, but estamos en Madrid, remember, so also enjoy that to the fullest because you guys deserve it. So why is a master so important? So I think a little bit back on my experience in a master. I see the master a little bit like a blank sheet. When I spoke with Zane the other day, he asked me, what was for you the master? For me, the master, if I look back at it right now, it's like a blank sheet. It's probably one of the few and last chances that you get to define what you really want to do with your life, both professionally and maybe also personally. Allow me to share a personal anecdote that maybe helps explain this a little bit more. Picture me almost 30 years ago, even more handsome. I was on a flight from Madrid to New York City, with only one suitcase, a lot of enthusiasm, and an enormous amount of energy to conquer the world. In the previous years, I had been running a small coffee company in a very rural part of Spain, where I was dealing with local farmers, so visiting the farming families, trying to convince them to give me some acres to sow some produce, to help us make a surrogate of coffee. I had to deal with very annoying purchase managers at the most challenging retail market stores. And I was dealing with I would say, very boots-on-the-ground crowd of operators, people that I barely understood, because at that time I was 24 years old and my Spanish wasn't that great. So that was my background. So imagine going from that scenario of very rural part of Spain to vibrant New York City, where all of a sudden, I came into a city that was so big that it really overwhelmed me in the beginning. Imagine the change from this rural part to vibrant New York City, where I can say that for me, the MBA at Columbia University completely turned upside down my life. All of a sudden, it was not only about the classes in strategy, marketing, entrepreneurship, but also dealing with a variety of people from all over the world. And I think what Dean Lee said about, the diversity of the group and how you interact in a group is very important. I learned that very fast. But also I met a lot of companies from all over the world. I still remember the Super Saturday interviews on Wall Street and Park Avenue. They still stick in my mind. And my next job was a job in consulting at McKinsey & Company. I got to honestly admit, I didn't even know how you spelled McKinsey when I was called for the interviews. And the feeling was really weird. I went totally unprepared. I remember this building. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was one of those where when you stand in front of it, it goes a long way, probably on the 80th floor, interviewing all Saturday long with tons of people. And all type of strange questions, the typical consulting questions. Somehow, miracle, I got through all the process and I got into the consulting world. As Shane mentioned, I spent a few years in consulting, which, if I look back at it, really taught me the key essentials of what I think is important to be successful in the career. But we'll speak a little bit more of that. And after which, I went to Endesa, Enel. Enel is one of the largest energy companies in the world, although a few weeks ago I sat in a room with some Chinese representatives of an energy company, and I realized how small we are compared to the Chinese companies. But anyways, so I joined Enel, and what I thought would be a very short spell of probably 1 or 2 years has been my home for the last 24 years, in which I'm thankful for having been given the opportunity to put my little grain of my little contribution to transforming this great energy industry and what it has become today. Imagine all the wave of renewables, the wave of energy storage, the situation today where private equity partners become the competition to beat or the party to partner with, and what to think about energy being the key driver beyond the rollout of AI, it's been made reference to, Bitcoiners, and data centers. So that is what I really do today. So thus far, it's been a great journey that started back in New York City, those 30 years ago. A journey, I would say, I've really defined step by step myself, which is important, and which I still get excited about every day, which is not that easy after 25 years. But I can tell you, I'm a believer, and I'm still getting my heart ticking faster every time I see an opportunity. A journey that allowed me to set up a lot of companies, also close a few, regretfully, but that's how life is. It's not all about success, it's also about assuming failure. I assumed a few board positions, and I'm also heading now the Energy Storage Association, which I've had the opportunity to really map the rollout of energy storage together with all the stakeholders since pretty much 15 years. I remember in 2011, when I went to the US for Enel, I got the opportunity to look at energy storage. And back in the days, it was really something, sorry, that's my phone. That's making interference. So a second. And I must have been in meetings with Elon Musk back in the days, because we went a lot to Silicon Valley to talk about energy storage, and there were a lot of guys looking at the idea, the stupid idea of an electric vehicle. So picture what has become of that. And again, the concept of blank sheet was there all over. I mean, I remember when I went to my board and I had to explain why to do energy storage, nobody understood me. But, you know, with persistence, assuming a lot of, you know, setbacks, we finally were able to develop a nice portfolio, and I think energy storage is not an innovation anymore. It's a real technology. So all of things that I can never imagine 30 years ago when I sat on that plane. And that's why I think that this master will also be, for you, be about discovering your new dreams, ones that you probably haven't even thought about. I know it sounds a little bit cheesy, but that's really what the master did for me. Now let's land this concept of dreams a little bit. The world you live in, it has been said, is moving faster and faster every day. And where today's innovation and new ideas that you might have are outdated pretty much in the blink of an eye. AI, digitalization, they're rewriting the way we work, we live together, we do the things we do pretty much every day. Not to mention climate change. Climate change is not a change anymore. It's a harsh reality that either is a threat or you take it as an opportunity to further grow. And also the geopolitical landscape. I mean, you look at what's happening in the world today. I mean, it shows us how fragile our context is every day. This is the context, you like it or not, that is and will be the context that you will develop your professional careers in. A context that will require new approaches, new ideas, led by a new generation of business leaders, led by you. So, in a few years from now, you will not only be asked to just solve a few tasks for your boss, you will be asked to step up your game and act as a leader and make sure to know how to respond to these changes. The skills you'll be learning in this master, they will be great tools, but tools that will be only as effective as possible if you make sure that you use them properly. What does that mean? That if you combine them properly with your vision, your courage, very important, and your values. And that's what I think is what your future leadership will be about. Now, as you embark into this master, allow me a few suggestions. David made a few, which I liked a lot. I'm going to write them down. I have a few too. Number one, get out of your comfort zone. You're here to get out of your comfort zone. I know this master will require working very hard, getting the cases done, writing papers, getting good grades. As David said, it's un mal menor. It's how do you say this in English? A lesser evil. So, but it's more than that. Don't focus only on the subjects you feel comfortable with. There's no free ride. So be ready to suffer a little bit and explore new subject, take classes and explore classes that maybe exceed a little bit your profile and your resume. Over my career, I've had the privilege to lead development teams pretty much all over the world, in all the 5 continents. And I did the other day the math. I've probably seen close to 3,000 investment opportunities. Some of them have become a good success with a lot of exposure. Some have been a big failure. That's how life is. You know, you have successes and you'll be having failures. But every opportunity started with this blank sheet concept. White paper, and start thinking about how you can make from a blank sheet something a reality. That concept, that not knowing what the next step is, which in this case is probably your next best you, is what makes my heart tick faster every day. It really excites me, and I hope this is something that you also will explore. Every time I see a new investment opportunity, I get excited, especially if it's a good one with a great return. So, embrace the new, embrace the unknown. Remember, never ever in your life you will have an opportunity to do something so different and to question and answer yourself what you really want to do with your life. So embrace that challenge and enjoy it, because it's also a lot of fun. The second suggestion is expand your network and make friends for life. I know this might sound a little bit cheesy, but look around you. What today is for you a group of total strangers will soon be your soulmates. A group you will be doing all-nighters with, and there was a mention about coffee. I think you're going to drink a lot of coffee. So you're going to do all-nighters with to solve challenging but also exciting business cases. a group you will be probably mock testing job interviews with, a group you will be exploring Madrid, Spain, and God knows also the world with, a group that I'm convinced will be friends for life and maybe even business partners. Trust me, I still WhatsApp on a weekly basis with my MBA buddies. And that's for real. I mean, these guys, they're, and these guys and girls, they're, still my reference group. And the last advice probably comes a little bit from my Dutch background, very instilled by my parents, is stay humble and don't forget where you're coming from. While this master will be a game changer in your lives, and all of you will undoubtedly land great jobs, I have no doubt about that, don't forget to stay humble. You're here today thanks to some fantastic parents, family, and other relatives that helped you to be in this privileged position. So first of all, thank them and make them proud. And be aware that as future business leaders, it's not only about your successful career. It's also about giving back to society and make this world a better place. With opportunity comes that responsibility, which you can only fulfill, which I believe, with a humble spirit. Now, a final reflection. 1 year from now, you'll be looking back at having a great time. But a decade from now, I'm convinced that this master will have a much bigger impact than you could ever have imagined. Some of you will be important CEOs. Some of you will have created startups that might even disrupt industries. Some of you will dedicate yourself to public service, social impact, or even, why not, charity. And some of you will discover paths none of us can actually predict today. But whatever you do, and Dean Lee already told it, remember it. This master is not the end, it's the start. So a big welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, David. This was very inspiring and encouraging words for our new students. And now it's my turn to share some insights about the program with you. Looking around here, and maybe even speaking to some first students before the ceremony started, you've probably realized what a diverse cohort this is. The diversity is a trademark of IE. It's kind of like our secret sauce that's going to make this journey very, very special. David actually already mentioned the languages that are represented here in this class. Let me add some data to this and give you the full class profile. We have 43 students in this cohort, which translates into 18 different nationalities. Across our whole IE campus, we have over 140 nationalities even. A truly global community, and that's one of the most exciting things about studying here. 98% of this cohort is international, spanning literally all over the globe. We highlighted Spain here because this is where IE is headquartered, that's where we are right now, but actually only 2% of the cohort is Spanish. We have many representatives from Europe, 58% in total. The clear front runner in this intake is Italy with 6 students. So benvenuti, as David already said before, followed by a tie between Germany and Austria with 4 students each as well, and UK, Switzerland with 3 students each. The second biggest group overall, together with Italy, is actually India with 6 students as well, and we have also multiple students from Colombia and the Philippines. As you can see, as I said before, we literally span the entire globe, and the cultural diversity will certainly enrich your experience in many, many ways and open your mind to different perspectives and opinions. But do not forget to also expose your taste buds to different dishes that you can try or music that you've never heard before. Make sure to take all these facets in. Age and gender. You're certainly a dynamic mix with an average age of 24 years, so you're already bringing valuable experience with you. We're excited to see the gender split is 42 female, 58% male. We're almost there at an equal balance, which is something that IE Business School is always striving for, and especially in this program, this is quite a good result. You have received your bachelor degree from many universities. Here's only a selection of some of them. and some of these are very known names and partners from IE's international network, actually. Moving on to your experience, you bring 2 years of work experience on average, which means many of you are just starting out, and that is actually very exciting. This is the perfect stage to learn, to grow, to experiment, and explore new possibilities. Your academic backgrounds spanning business, economics, hospitality, and more set the stage for incredible conversations and collaborations this year. Now, moving on to industries. The biggest ones being venture capital and asset management, consulting, science and tech, consumer products, and automobile. This class showcases the diverse backgrounds that will shape the future of business. So as you can see, this class is diverse in all aspects, not only nationalities, but also academic and professional backgrounds. You'll see at the end of the year, I think David Suarez also mentioned it before, that you will not only have learned from your professors, from your case studies, from your classes, but to a great extent from each other. So make sure to keep an open mind, listen to each other, and work together. We're excited to see what you can do. Okay. Now, as you know, you're the second cohort of the Master in Management and Strategy, and we would have loved to have you guys meet the current cohort as part of this ceremony. However, these students are right now on their Global Immersion Month in London. They're going to be away for a month. They're right now 2 weeks in London and then followed by 2 weeks in Milan. So we couldn't make this meeting happen right now. Surely it's going to happen very soon once they come back. But since they couldn't be here, we asked a couple of them to record some messages for you. So I'll show you now some videos of the current class reps of the cohort of September 24, Sarah Van Notten and Luca Ferrettini.
I'm Sarah from the first MIMS cohort, and I'm here to wish you a warm welcome to the IE community and a great start of your master's journey. We're very excited to meet you, and we'll be in Madrid very soon, but in the meantime, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in person.
Hi everyone, it's Luca here, and welcome to the Master in Management and Strategy. Just 1 year ago, I was in your same position, beginning this amazing program, and I'm here to give you a couple of advices before kicking off the Global Immersion Month in London, at King's College, and in Milan and Bocconi. Make sure to connect with all your peers, to have fun, and to enjoy the process. The program goes by very fast, and it's full of surprises. You're gonna love it, I'm sure. Once back from the Global Immersion Month, we're gonna meet at IE Madrid for a couple networking events between the two classes, the old peers from the first cohort and you guys. Feel free to connect, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, and I'll see you very soon in Madrid. Good luck with the begin. Ciao guys.
And this is the entire cohort. So as I said, they're right now in London. They're coming back at the end of this month, and we'll make sure to organize an event for you to meet them as soon as possible. They're just 12 months ahead of you in this journey, so they surely have some helpful tricks and do's and don'ts to share with you. Now, we have almost arrived at the end of this opening ceremony, but before we go, I would like to share with you some last important messages. As you heard from all of our speakers today, you're embarking on an incredible ride and learning experience. In the name of the whole MIM team, I would like to let you know that we're going to be with you all steps of the way. And this is us. This is the entire MIM program management team who is involved in making your journey here at IE possible, and your direct contacts that are especially dedicated to this Master Management Strategy intake are Lydia Arteta, Senior Associate Director. Lydia? Oh, there you are in the back. And Mzeona Kaniashvili, where are you? I think she's helping to set up. You meet her right away. They're going to be your direct contacts for anything you need. But the rest of the team is certainly also there for anything that you might need on the way. We're looking forward to meeting you and accompanying you. Now, some last messages. We have set up a welcome cocktail for you, so you can continue getting to know each other. The team, colleagues from admissions, as well as from talent and careers, and our speakers from today are going to be there joining you for this cocktail. We hope to engage in conversations with you, and please don't be shy and ask us any questions you might have. But before we start with the cocktail, we have a photo call set up because we would like to commemorate the start of your program. So we'll take a photo of the whole class. After the cocktail, there's a little break, and then Vice Dean David Suarez and your program director, Lidia Arteta, will continue with the program management presentation. We'll be sharing important information about MIMS Inc. that you'll find out more in just a second, as well as other important information about the program. After this session, you'll be free for the rest of the day, and we expect you tomorrow ready for your first sessions back on the MIM campus, which is in Velázquez 130. Check out your Blackboard to see where you have to be exactly and when. Now, this is it. We have arrived at the end of the opening ceremony. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for connecting online. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you all the best. I'll see you on campus. Thank you.